Because, Your Honor, I object to
What
the
do
fact
you
that
not
it's calling it
understand?
a no
Sir,
RV.
your objections mean shit to me. So you keep saying, I object, I object, I object. I don't care. I don't care what you're objecting to. I'm going to hold you in contempt the next time you cut her off.
Well, I do object to the setting aside of my motion, Your Honor.
I'm not setting aside your motion. I'm denying your motion.
Well, denying. I object to the
You
denying.
can't object. You can appeal. Brother, why'd you just waste 5 minutes of my life?
Okay, guys, today we have a sovereign citizen in court, and this one is wild. He's facing eviction because, shockingly, he didn't pay his rent, but it gets worse. He also stole money from a COVID relief fund meant to help struggling renters back in 2020. How do you scam a program designed for financial relief, then act like the law doesn't apply to you? I can't tell if he genuinely believes this sovereign nonsense or if he's just using it to dodge rent, but either way, this case gets heated fast, and the judge is about to absolutely destroy him. Let's dive in.
A motion filed?
Yeah, oh yes, absolutely. I actually had issues to discuss before I crossed.
But the court reporter needs to pick you up.
Here, you don't have to be at the podium, but at least have a seat at that table where that microphone is.
Threats, coercion, and I'm under duress. I'll cross.
You're under duress. How are you under duress?
Well, Your Honor, as stated in my motion, there's actually fraudulent word that since been signed by a judge. I have lawsuits filed and all of this stuff right now, which I know that they received.
Hold on, brother. Wait. I'm just asking you to have a seat at the chair with a microphone.
Oh, I understand that. I'll do it. Okay. The final seconds.
That's fine, just make sure you talk to the microphone.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, you can sit down. Okay. So I think this is your motion to dismiss, right?
Yeah, I have a few in there that I've been repeatedly trying
Okay,
to be
well, which one
dismissed.
do you want to start with first?
Well, the recent one I filed, the motion to reject swearing in and all that based off the fact that, like I said, I was sent a default motion that, I don't know how it even got sent out past the day, but it was never signed or anything. I was also defaulted out the fact that there was a citation that never even presented a court appearance.
Okay, hold on. You're giving me too many issues. You're talking about swearing in, you're talking about a default judgment. Just pick one issue. We're going to deal with them one at a time. So what do you want to deal with first? You want to deal
my
with the
main
default?
motion. Well, yeah, the default.
Okay, so was that on the civil infraction, failed to disclose the CPL?
I suppose that's what it was under, yes.
Okay, don't suppose, it's your motion, brother. Tell me what it is.
Well, it keeps getting set
That's the only
aside, so
civil infraction.
I have numerous, I have lots of stuff.
Hold on, that's the only civil infraction I see with your name on it. So I'm just confirming that we're talking
Yes,
about
it was over
that
the
charge.
Yeah, sure. It was over
Okay. So do you know why the default was entered? Did you miss a deadline? Did you
Well,
not?
I was notified, I was called by people that I know within Huron and the police chief stating that I had a missed appearance date. I never had an appearance date scheduled, but I went back looking at the citation, there was no date, and actually how fast it got issued raises real concerns to me. And then once I received the default in
Okay,
the
hold
order.
on. Let's take one thing at a time. So you said you never got an appearance date.
Correct.
Do you have a copy of the ticket? Because I've got a copy.
Yeah, I
of the
said
ticket.
it's in there, it's attached to my motions.
Okay, do you have a copy
Yes,
of the ticket?
I do.
Okay, then I'm going to ask you to look at that copy of the ticket. Because my copy of your ticket says contact court for appearance date.
It says contact court for appearance date, where it says appearance date on or before, there's nothing.
Okay,
They
but
didn't
it
give me no
says,
time frame.
it says contact court for appearance date. That means the
long?
monkey's on your back to contact us.
I will also on the bottom of the tickets, it says, if you fail to contact court within the specified amount of time, there was no specified amount of time on here. I had no idea when I was supposed to contact court. I was dealing with trying to get my
Well, let
attorney.
me ask you this. Did you contact the court?
I was again, as I said, I had no sort of any time frame
Mr.
to
Crucell,
contact the
Mr.
court.
Crucell, this is going to go a lot easier on everybody if you just answer the question I asked. I'm going to give you plenty of chance to give me any argument you want to give. Okay? So don't feel that you have to force your argument into every question I ask. The question was, did you contact the court?
Well, Your Honor, I would have contacted the court if I had a specified.
That's a yes or no. So I'm going to take that as a no. You didn't contact the court. So after 14 days on a civil infraction, if we don't hear from the defendant, we enter default.
It was less than that actually when I was defaulted, Your Honor.
Less than that from what?
From whatever this was issued. And like I said, I was contacting
Well, once
attorneys.
again, I'm going to draw your...
I'm so sick of sovereign citizens getting a free pass in court. How many times do judges have to sit there and let these people ramble on about made-up laws before just shutting it down? We need more judges to stand up, slam the gavel, and either demand they get in line or cancel the case outright and reschedule it for an in-person hearing. Let's be real, these people don't know how to behave over Zoom. It's like handing a toddler an iPad and expecting them to file their own taxes. Ever since COVID, Sovereign citizens have multiplied like rabbits, and every other case now has someone screaming about how they don't consent to being arrested. But the audacity of these people blows my mind. This guy literally owes $6,000 in unpaid rent, and instead of facing reality, he's pulling out a script like that's going to save him. It's just embarrassing.
Which I think is the same one you got, is dated February 3rd.
Correct.
Okay, so that's when it was issued, February 3rd.
Correct.
So when was the default? When did you get notice of a default?
I received, I'm sorry, I know I got the thing in the mail. When did I get this? This says that, I don't think it specifies a date.
What, did you make a note when you received it?
This told me, this said I don't remember exactly what date I received this in the
Okay.
mail, but this was scheduled for March 8th.
Okay.
So that was even less than a
But what is that that's scheduled?
This says it was for my order, the motion affidavit saying that I was defaulted and saying I needed to pay bond and a warrant would be issued. And I said,
Okay.
again, that was never.
And that's dated what?
This was dated 3/8. That I needed to appear
Okay.
on or before 3/8.
Okay, so that was March 8th. You were defaulted February 22nd.
Okay. Which then, again, there was no dates. I had no nothing. I had no
Okay.
notice
Well,
of any
well,
sort of.
Once again,
appearance.
you're not hearing what I'm telling you. The monkey was on your back. The ticket clearly said, you contact us. You never did.
And it also specifies right here, if you fail to appear by the date specified, and then on the bottom one, even for the other one, if you fail to answer a citation by date specified, there was no dates.
Okay,
There was no dates.
okay. Do you have anything to add?
I do, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Mr. Crusoe brought this up when we were in front of the Honorable Judge Martin. She did set aside the default on the civil infraction, irregardless of whether or not he showed up.
Which I object to the set
Sir,
aside.
do not interrupt the lady. Did she interrupt you?
No,
Then don't do that. Let's be civil. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge Green, Mr. Crusoe did bring it up again with the Honorable Judge Green, and she declined or denied his motion based on the fact that it was moot because the Judge Martin set it aside.
So the default's already been set aside.
Yes,
Brother, why'd you just waste 5 minutes of my life?
since March 14th, Your Honor.
which I object to that because there's.
You object to your motion being?
No.
So this sovereign idiot claims he's the beneficiary of his own self. Bro, that's not how things work. That's like saying you're your own boss but still have to ask yourself for a raise. These people just string together fancy words, hoping the judge will be confused enough to agree. But I've never once seen that happen. In actual law, a beneficiary is someone who receives something from a legal trust, not whatever nonsense this guy is trying to pull. At this point, he's basically handing the judge a golden ticket to throw his case out. Do you guys think judges should even waste time on people like this? Let's type it back in and see where this goes.
I object to this.
No. Wait. Listen. She tells me Judge Martin set aside the default based on your motion.
Yes, but I was never told any of that prior to any of that.
So you want to argue about the fact that you got what you asked for?
No, what I'm saying is the fact that the due process was violated is what happened in this whole problem. When I was defaulted, due process was violated.
So what? She set it aside.
Listen, okay, it was set aside to cause damages to me because of what happened with the default.
Well, explain to me how you were damaged.
First off, there's threats made against me, right? Clearly, he's threatening me to
No.
issue warrants,
I didn't ask you
threatening to
about
pay
threats.
money.
I said, how were you? You said you were damaged. I'm asking you, what was the damage?
But the fact that I was threatened to come in and pay money or warrants. would
How
be
was that
issued for my
damage?
arrest. And I was being threatened by Huron Police, which I have on record.
What's the damage?
What do you mean? The fact that I had to come in and pay money, or I would have been, they'd have been issued.
What money
warrants.
did you pay?
Huh?
What money did you pay?
$280. I had the receipt and everything. It was all attached to my motions. They just keep trying to set it aside, and Judge Green never said a word to me
Stop.
about any of that.
It's been set aside. Counsel just said, Judge Martin set aside the default. So what that means is procedurally, it's like it's a brand new file. Understood?
Yeah, but that's but that, especially now with the new Chevron overlay, that's just saying that she's just trying to set it aside, that there's no issues.
She didn't try to set it aside, she sat it
But she
aside.
can't. She can't just set my rights aside.
She's not setting your rights aside, she set a default aside because you asked her to.
Well, so if it's set aside, then the money should be returned, correct?
Well, I don't know, did she address the money?
I don't
No, she never did. No one did. I
Sir.
extended my motions.
Sir, I'm gonna hold you in contempt The next,
It blows my mind that sovereign citizens think they can outsmart judges and lawyers who spend years studying the law, while their own legal knowledge comes from sketchy Facebook posts and YouTube conspiracy videos. Like, bro, waving around a piece of paper with fake legal jargon doesn't make you a legal genius. It makes you look like a clown. And yet, they never learn. Courts have ruled time and time again that sovereign citizen arguments are complete garbage, but they still march in acting like they've discovered some loophole that's going to take down the entire legal system. Newsflash: if your legal strategy only works in your imagination, it's not a legal strategy, it's just embarrassing. But seriously, what do you guys think? This dude literally stole money from the COVID relief fund and never paid it back. So yeah, he deserved to be evicted. Honestly, I think the judge should have just held him in contempt or forced him to appear in person, because dealing with these sovereign citizens over Zoom never works out. At this point, courts need a sovereign citizen bingo card just to make it through these cases. But yeah, guys, that's a wrap. If you enjoy seeing these legal train wrecks get exposed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more courtroom drama. I truly appreciate you all watching, and I post clips like this every day, so keep checking back for more.
contempt $100. The second contempt's a day in jail. Are we clear on the ground rules for my courtroom? Is that a yes for the
Yes, Your
record?
Honor.
Okay. I'm giving you all the time you need to talk. Don't talk over her.
Okay, understand. I'm sorry, there's just been a lot that's been going on with this.
And I'm the first time I'm seeing it, so I'm trying to
Right.
get to the bottom of it.
You're right.
All right? So we started with, what motion do you want to talk about first? You said your motion to set aside the default. That was granted by Judge Martin, is what I'm hearing from the prosecutor. So that motion's done. Would you agree?
As long as my money gets returned, then I guess it's taken
At
care
some point, trust me, your money will either get applied or returned. Next motion you want to talk about.
The dismissal based off of fundamental violations of my fundamental rights and due process.
Okay, well, tell me more.
Okay.
You have, hold on, let me just cut to the chase. You have more than just the fact that you think you have a right to travel.
Yes, Your Honor. Actually,
That's denied. I'll just cut to the chase. That's denied. I don't buy into that argument. Now, you can appeal that decision to the circuit court. You understand how that works? District court decisions you can appeal.
absolutely.
Okay, hold on. I've denied that motion. We're not going to talk about that motion because I've denied it based on your argument that you have a right to travel and don't need a license. Is there anything else you want to hang your hat on for dismissal?
Well, I do object to the setting aside of my motion, Your Honor.
I'm not setting aside your motion. I'm denying your motion.
Well, denying, I object to the
You
denying.
can't
of my
object. You can appeal.
motion. But I'm just
Okay.
letting you know, I'm stating for the record that I am objecting to your denial of my appeal.
That's fine.
Okay.
Circuit court judges have bills to pay too, right? So you appeal me to the circuit court. Do you have any other argument why these cases should be dismissed?
Yes, absolutely. Well, honestly, Your Honor, like I said, I even have lawsuits. They've received my lawsuits to the Huron Township Police Department overall.
Hold on. I don't know anything about a lawsuit. How would you suing the township work as a reason to dismiss these charges?
Because the initial traffic stop and everything was an unlawful stop from the get. I was
Okay, but that's got
retaliating.
nothing to do with your lawsuit. That might be the basis of your lawsuit. So you want to talk about whether or not there was a valid reason for a
Yeah,
stop?
absolutely.
Then make the argument.
Well, Your Honor, so prior to me being pulled over by this officer, I was actually in contact with several law enforcement officers that are friends, and actually two that are currently working within Huron that had confirmed I had every lawful right to be doing what I was doing. The one even pulled up to me and my wife at a gas station, and we were in town, and we had, or in Sibley and Middlebelt, right near actually where I got pulled over, and we had discussed it and talked about it, went on about our day, and this was all prior to this incident. I had had two other interactions with this officer where I had specifically told him, I've already been confirmed and doing lawful, I'm well within my lawful rights, I have it documented, you need to go talk to the sergeant that I've been talking to, and a couple other buddies, right? I gave him that opportunity. It was shortly after that, and I had had that confirmation well prior to me even being pulled over, okay? So then, this officer seen me leaving my house, pulling off my dead-end dirt road, proceeded, like I said, I even told him, I've already had this, I've already
Right.
used this, you need to go talk to the sergeant.
Right.
Chose not to. Pulled me over, walked up, just started demanding ID and everything from me, and wouldn't identify himself, none of that good stuff, and then now this is where it's all led to. And I informed him, I have body cams, I have my own recording, and like I said, I have a lot.
Okay, but you started out by saying you wanted this dismissed because there was not probable cause for the stop,
Correct.
okay? And then you went on to tell me how there was obviously a difference in opinion within the department about whether or not what you were doing was legal or not.
Well, I
Is that
specifically
a fair
stated.
summation?
What was that?
Is that a fair summation of what you just said? Some of the officers that you talked to said you could do that, and obviously the officers that wrote you the ticket didn't think you could.
Correct.
Okay, so that's a difference of opinion there, which has very little, if anything, to do with the probable cause for the stop.